Hello everyone, how you doing today? I thought I would show some creations from the workshop, and these are kind of at random. The one thing, there's a couple things in common with these creations. One, I've seen them all up on the workshop before, and these are a lot of pretty legendary authors, but they haven't been active on the workshop for quite a long time at this point. And they do have some influences. To start with here, we have the G80SV by Mr.IceCat. And Mr.IceCat made a number of very, very popular creations. Most of these were done before I got into Empyrion. So these are some of the more legendary creations. And keep in mind, throughout when like this was built, it didn't have all the same stuff that the game does now, the blocks, etc. But they're in one way or another an influence on me in building some of the stuff that I was doing. Like for instance, this has, although different, some characteristics of a lot of the merc ships that I've made. This one's a little bit skinnier and whatnot, and I do appreciate that. But yeah, the first one I wanted to take a look at here is this G80 here, and it just has a really, really nice design to it. It's slender, it's aerodynamic. These are some of the things I'm looking for on creations. I like how, like with the landing gear, it has these little flanges out there on the side, and also has the interior space, which is also very nicely done. Now, one other thing with all these creations that I'm going to show is there's one more that you're not seeing out in this area, but they're going to keep on getting bigger in size class. So this is the smallest of the creations at a size class 1. But it's a influence of mercs. A lot of the different merc ships. I usually went with more of a wide body so I could pack more stuff inside it. But same principles of trying to make something look plausible, aerodynamic, a lot of most of the time have interior space, and just neat little aesthetics with designing, like the again like how the rear landing gear kind of like set out from the creation. It just makes it look a little more plausible, like this mount steer form. Stuff like that is what I really look for, and I think this may be a prefab as well. I've seen it in some Empyrion pictures by the devs, so I know this was a very, very popular ship. But awesome job on this. I don't know if the original authors are ever going to see this, but hey, you are respected for sure. So the next one, jumping up a little bit bigger in size class, I believe this is a size class 4 here. This is by Kieve, and it is the KSV Etheria XLS, and this is a kind of a luxury SV. Very, very unique styling, coloring, shape, layout. Really takes advantage of a lot of neat angles, and that is something that I definitely appreciate too. And I try to do similar with angles. This is another one of those legendary authors. Now, I did get a chance to talk to Kieve before in the past, so he was active for a while, but he's kind of stopped building, at least on the workshop, for quite a long period of time now. So I know Crazy Z also made kind of a remake of this ship, or a different version based on this ship, as to honor the author. And I know Kieve is a very serious influence to Crazy Z as well. You can kind of see some similarities. But yeah, just what he was doing here with the blocks and the shaping is really what stands out with this, and also the coloring, how he's you know, you see certain colors going around certain edges, and how it was painted, and taking advantage of some of the blocks and how they paint at different areas. And then other weird things, like he put a wing in here to make this certain shape over here, which is just it's really, really creative. Really taking what's there and just trying to use it to its maximum potential here. Then of course the interior is Also pretty interesting. The same thing going on inside with all kinds of different block shaping, and he's not scared of curves or any wedge blocks or angles. Displays everything very, very nicely, like its own like little setup. Got into the LCDs. I mean, early on, before we were doing all these fancy new things with the LCDs and the key codes, and before there were projectors. Yeah, you can kind of see there's just a lot of influences here on things, and just highly detailed ship, very, very shapely and creative. Just makes for a really knockout looking design, and it's so different than a norm. This very much reminds me of a yacht, and not so much a flying ship. But it is very, very cool, and it's one of the classics out there. Now I will have links to all these creations on the video description as well. So those two are the smallest two. So we're going to go all the way over to the edge over here, and we're going to take a look at another author that was active when I was building, probably a couple years ago now. Time really does fly. And this is Twolinks, and this is the here, I'll look at the precise name of it. It is the 51 PEG CL7 Limited Deco. And this is a carrier, an asymmetrical carrier. Oh, not entirely, well, yeah, it's symmetrical, but also asymmetrical. So it's got two things going on, and this is quite a large creation. Take a look at the size class on this one again. So, size class 8. What's really slick is it has a kind of a futuristic military look to it, and of course, you know, if you looked at some of my past designs too, you can see why I would probably pick this one out as one of my favorites that I've seen in the past. It's got a very cool shape to it. A lot going on. All the different areas are well detailed. Now, yeah, and this is pretty old already too. I mean, pretty old creation out there. And it's just slick. I like all this little detail stuff too, like this asymmetrical area back here where you have like a control tower on the one side, and this other thing going across, and the neat looking military look with all the extra things. Decoration and like radar sticking out the side. Hey, in Reforged you can actually make that work now. But I just thought this was very, very cool. And this author made another carrier too that I don't have here today, but a very, very cool carrier as well. So as in being a carrier, it's got some carrying space to it. I almost feel bad. I kind of want to like, I'm not sure if this has internal lighting or not. But yeah, just how you get through this. It's a pretty large ship. A lot of space inside it. Plus all your typical function. But you can tell that this was made for more of a passion project. Oh, look at that. I got a cockpit back over here. I didn't even realize that. So I've never really explored inside this ship before, so I'm kind of running around a bit randomly here, taking a look at what's inside. I'm really scared of the last creation that I'm going to show. I don't have that on the planet because, to be honest, it was too big and caused too much frame rate issues. But I have it in space above, and that is the largest in size class of what I was going to show today. Yeah, little things like this too, like getting out to these little flight pads on the carrier. Some of these, you know, things. I'm not sure if this was made before or after the Gigacore or around the same time frame. But yeah, I kind of like tried similar on the Gigacore where I had these little landing pads and like different access points to them. And I appreciate it. It just has that very cool look and feel to it. And just a massive ship. And then you've got your main carrier, or the main hangar area back over here. which is gives you a lot of space inside. You can take right off, and you got like a floor above you, so you're relatively safe. If something was shooting down into the hangar, it would have to go through that wall first. A lot of stuff like that, but yeah, just one of those creations that really stuck out to me. Like, oh, that's really cool, and I love the look of like seeing something like this too, like a runway, and then you've got like all the slopes and things on the side. Yeah, gives you that really cool look and feel to it for sure. So awesome work on this one, Twolinks. Really appreciate the kind of stuff you designed. It's influenced me some, for sure. And I know Twolinks made several other things too, and his style was I liked his style. So then we've got this crazy ship here by Goons, and here I'll zoom out in a second. I just want to. This is the CVX Revenant MK4, size class 17. So this is a big one here, but what a sweet looking ship. Just seriously, the design, the texturing, the coloring, the shape. I mean, everything just looks phenomenal on it. But just all this little detail stuff going on here. Like you've got like this bridge area here, and that's like a separate piece, and you've got these separate pieces over here, and the other stuff on the side, and use of not scared of like any blocks, curved blocks or wedges or whatever it takes to create the look. Just a very cool ship with design, and I assume that this is partially a carrier. It looks more of a like a battleship, but it does look like it certainly has a hangar bay back here too. So obviously, right coming back in here, we've got a landing pad, and then look at that. You know what? I'm gonna lower down the lighting for this one a minute, just so I can take a look at what this look like inside here. Let me make sure we're dark. Okay, see it in its full glory here. That looks cool. That looks cool. I like the like how the lighting works. I like the formations on the wall. I like how you can see through all the detail in the block work, and in conjunction with the texturing around the area, really makes it very detailed. And getting into this hangar here, wow, look at this. Look at this. So yeah, we got bridge access. Looks like it's okay. Deck 2. Wow. Bridge access. Let's go through one of these here a minute. Okay, so we got an elevator over there. I have not been in this ship either, so I'm kind of touring this for the first time. But look at that look. Does that not look sweet? It's just kind of, it goes on that white, gray, black theme. And it's actually using some wood on the floor, which is that is unique. Interesting choice of textures there, but it does look good with the everything else. The darker tone of that mixed with everything else looks great. And again, some of the things that I'm looking for too is like every little chunk here. It looks like it's just detailed to you know, perfection practically, and with all the little like setups in between the walls here, and just there's always something to look at. You know, it's never a boring area. You never walk up to a big flat wall and there's just nothing there to see. It's those are the kind of things that I try to do myself when building stuff. I'll look at like an area, and if it doesn't look like, I got like one area that looks nice and then one area that doesn't look so nice next to it, then it's like, well, what can be done to make that one area look better? Whether it's adding some deco or changing the blocks or some colors or textures or you name it. So let's go. So let's keep on moving on in this ship here. Look at this. That's pretty amazing. Glass floor with pipework below it, and this very interesting and cool hallway with just Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. Um, Quite an amazing creation for sure. Wow, and that's all glass floor, so you can. It's almost like you're looking through the floor on engineering. That's a cool idea, really is. Oh, look at these rooms. The whole glass floor thing's pretty cool, though. I gotta say, I haven't seen it really done like this before on anything. Man, everywhere you go on this, looks like it's just gonna be amazingly detailed. You know, even a farm plot area. Oh, look at that. Hmm. Yeah. No, this is pretty spectacular here. Oh, look at the warp drive housing. That looks very cool too. Nice use of glass. Actually, using a lot of glass as structural parts. Um, yeah, that is cool. Now this one is a little bit newer than the other ones. So it had the newer blocks and the newer parts for the most part in it. And I think this was a revision on the original version of this ship, like it was overhauled um, to just make it look more. Wow, every room you walk in, there's just more to see. Danger, danger, danger. Yes, yes, I can see why there would be danger, but that makes total sense. It's an engineering area. Look at those stacked generators, catwalk above it. Looks like there's an elevator at the front of that room that would get you there. Let's go up the elevator here, but you know, well, I guess that doesn't go up further. Of course, I don't know where I'm going on these ships. I get lost in some of my own ships too, so it's not the ship's fault. um, hmm. Okay, let's try to look at some signs here. So what do we got here? So we're on deck 2, crew quarters, research, bridge access. Let's go up to deck 2 here. Alright, so we're out to another floor here. Hey, see, just take a look at the ceiling. All the stuff that's going on. You know, like every block that you can use to make something look neat has been done. And is there a floor above that? Okay, that looks like that's about the top of the ship there. Bridge, airlock, and all the LCD work. And the consistent theming too. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I don't know. This one I just think is really stands out. It is a amazing looking build. Outside and the interior is quite fantastic. It really is. Wow, look at that. Look at that block work. So that's that one weird part that I don't see used hardly at all, but that is such a cool usage of that block. And how that works and integrates with the lights that are there. And yeah, and the whole hallway thing that's just going on in this ship is just pretty amazing too. Just taking a look at these fine little details, like in the corner here, even how that looks. I mean, just this little stuff that I look for a lot. Always trying to figure out ways to make stuff that I make look better or get some other ideas as well. This one is just full of them. So here, let's go up another floor here. Wow. I'm probably not seeing the whole ship. It's a pretty large creation. I'm sure I'll have that same problem, especially with the last creation I was going to show today. Yeah. Anyway, I'll have a link on the video for this if you want to check this ship out in person. It is quite a sight to see for sure. Yeah, let's get the lighting back rolling here a minute. But really cool. So alright, so the next one is a creation that I kind of I had trouble finding it for a little while, but I finally got it, and it is a Kriel-Charon by Loudskins. And this is a giant giant carrier. Let's see here. It is coming in at size class 25. So it's a big one here. But loudskins made a couple other Creel creations as well, and he did a really good job with the aesthetics and the general look of it, and mixing in like the Creel look with the texture lights and shaping, things like that. And this one looks like it's got a lot of stuff going on with its shaping and things like this over here. It almost looks like this would be a great spot to plop in a couple weapons. Kind of looks like that's what it's designed to do as well. Holy crap. So let's just take a look at the outside of this, and look at this. It's got like these little like side escort fighters that are like part of the design. I've seen that done before. I think Pear did something like that too, and a couple other authors. That's kind of a slick idea. It does work. It does look like they're individual ships over there, and that is really neat. Wow. But yeah, even in the walls and everything, you're seeing like all the different kind of like detail things cut into the walls, doing some like little vent blocks, stuff like that. Turret mount positions. Take a big hangar door over there, and then getting into like this rear thruster area. SP, I'd have to figure out what is SP. Not sure what that one is right now. Looks like a spot to put something that would be that particular size. I'm not sure. Oh, and then the interesting thing is I was actually looking at the back of the ship. So here's the front of the ship, I believe. Yeah, this is the front of the ship. So it's kind of got that bit of a overseer kind of look to the front. Over here too, and the angled texture light like fins on it, and with a couple looks like some bay areas on the front. Wow. And then a big hangar spot here. And take a look at this the intricate work in this block structure here with all that's going on in there. You look at stuff like this, it's hard to like wrap your brain around that. Sometimes these are like voxel blocks and things, you know, because it's getting the details looking a bit much that you would might not think it was made of blocks at all. So on the inside here, this is Creel. Looks like we certainly have lighting in here, so I'm going to do the night thing again to try to see it in its proper lighting. Now, one thing with Creel, and especially on the interiors of Creel, they really were designed to have to be in like a dark space. So you would accent like the Creel lighting and stuff like that. So that's even when I showed my own Creel ships, I typically show the interior with the at night. You can get a lot of extra neat detail and stuff with playing with lighting. That's just another element of building. So that would go out the front there. So, and that looks cool. Like if you're taking off from a ship and you've got like your SV back over here or whatever, or even an HV. I think these go down to the ground. Yeah, that's a nice little platform there. Oh, stay open. Ah, there we go. Yeah, look at that. Very cool sight there. And then yeah, looking up at the ceiling and stuff, you see like all of the the ceiling could have just been flat blocks, but no, every block is like messed with to increase detail and things like that. Oh, and it looks like it's even got some oh, wait a minute. I'm starting to get, oh, this is a module carrier. So this would be oh, look at that. This is like a Helios module port. Oh, this one's obviously newer, so it was made after the module stuff with the Helios. Wow. See, and that's another thing. When you look at these things at night when they're flying around with the texture lights too, it really it's kind of why I did the Creel thing in the first place. I wanted to exploit texture lights. That's why I picked the particular color it was, because it looks kind of black at night, although it's actually like a dark purplish or several shades of dark purple. Close shades, so kind of a bit of a gradient look on Creel. And this thing's gonna have a lot to explore, isn't it? This is a big ship. I had no idea what I was in for. When the name of it is Kriel-Charon. And I was just thinking, well, at first, you know, without seeing it, I thought it was just kind of like maybe Charon was, you know, retextured to look like a Creel ship. But I see it's nothing like that whatsoever. It is a completely brand new build, a giant one at that, of a carrier. Oh, I like this. Look at how the so you can so from the lower bay here, you could drive up, and then it's got an internal ramp. It looks like it goes all the way around, so you can park in this giant second floor hangar area. Wow, look at this. Look at all the stuff going on in here. This must have taken a long time to build too. Not a big ship, but also heavily detailed everywhere. And Module Bay 2, Module Bay 1. I'll have to figure out how many module bays it's got on it. So yeah, so this thing does support modules. There are, yeah, I do know there are a couple Creel modules. I'll have to take a look at the some of the screenshots there. He shows this carrying a lot of Creel stuff, including like interfectors and Bahamats and all kinds of stuff. And I can see that it could certainly carry a lot. It is a big, big carrier. That's neat. Slick idea though. Actually being able to go from the deck down into a hold. I didn't do this on any of the carriers I made yet. I thought about it, but if I did do it, it would have to be a very big carrier, and simply because it takes a lot of space to be able to set up a ramp like that to do that. Just curious what was done on. Well, you know, but it's not like total wasted space either. It's got the ramp blocks that come down here, but right below that, there's other areas. Oh yeah, it looks like a total crafting construction area here. And construct power. Oh, blinky light when you turn that on, so you know your constructors are on. Bet you the side has that same thing going on. Yeah. Wow. So anyway, yeah, this is up on the workshop too. And yeah, if you want to check this out or potentially use it like a Helios, I mean, it's got the module base, it's got incredible amount of like hangar space throughout it, and being able to get from the flight deck down to the mid floor, down to the out the front of the ship, so everything's interlinked with its hangar space. It's really, really cool. I'm scared. I know there's going to be more parts of this ship here that I have not been into yet. Not knowing the ship, so it's I'll get lost. Sometimes I run through walls because I don't know where I'm going. Oh, look at that. I see how this is done. So actually you walk through this angled corridor here. Get over here. And so we got deck 3, bridge, control rooms, teleporter console, main hangar that we're on now. Let's go up here. Okay, so we got the bridge. Yep. Yeah, I definitely like how that is. Gives you a nice view seeing through here. Here, we'll kick it back onto daylight here in a minute. Oh yeah, that's cool. So anyway, really, really, really cool creation, and a lot to see in it for sure. Yeah, wow. All the places on here, and that's just, huh. Oh, very cool. This is also in the Creel collection now. So awesome work on this, loudskins. Very cool. All right, so that handles some of the stuff down here, and obviously each one is an increase in size class from 1, 4, 8. This one again was 17, and this one I believe is 25. So they got a little bit bigger each time, and we're gonna go straight up to space now. And the biggest, which really surprised me on how big it was. I didn't realize it at first. Let me turn my HUD, and we should be. Oh, somehow I got way over there. How did that happen? Okay, let me just head over this way a little bit. This might take a bit to draw. Okay, so I've got an update on my station, but you can see something spawning, drawing in next to it right now. And this has got to be one of the biggest creations on the workshop. I was a little surprised at how big this thing actually is. And this is the Bao Nexus Station MK4 by Siege. And why I didn't spawn it on the surface down there is because, well, it does kill frame rate, even in space. Obviously, my frame rate went down to pretty bad with this in here. To take a look at its specs, this is a size class 183. 183. You know, I'm thinking, oh, the Leviathan, that's like 55 or something. That's giant. 183 on this one. Holy crap. Wow, this thing is incredible though. Man, I wish the game could handle building stuff at this scale. The amount of stuff you could pull off is pretty amazing. There's some really interesting ideas on here too. Sorry about the frame rate. I can't really do much about that. But something that I'm noticing right off the gates is the simulated windows in these, especially in these circular areas here. That's pretty slick. That's an interesting idea because when you look at it from a distance, it does look kind of like, you know, you're looking at windows in like a Star Trek ship or like Next Generation Star Trek ship. And then like different tinting on different like pieces of glass to keep that separation to make it look like they're like glass windows when they're actually just blocks. And I use that same principle on some of those kind of fake buildings that I made for the humans. I didn't want to use actual glass on them because you couldn't see it from a distance, and it's bad for frame rate. So I set up kind of a window thing of using different tinted things to make windows like that, and I see that was done over here as well. Now this is a much older creation, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to tour this entire station here, but it is mammoth. Just part after part after part. I can't imagine the interior on this thing too. Jeez. So this is the first time I've actually spawned it in and looked at it, and I wasn't paying attention to the size class when I grabbed the blueprint, and I was thinking, well, you know, it's pretty big, and I was expecting it to be somewhere in the 40 to 50 range maybe in size class, but then I was like, holy crap, 180 something. Wow. Now look at these. Look how these were done. The landing surface areas are so big that they could actually do it kind of like a pixel art and create the numbers on the surface. And that is something with this too. It's just from a distance, you know, you'd think maybe it's not that big until you start getting closer to it, and then you realize that this thing is like a city. This thing is like to a scale space station, you know, like you see in the movie kind of space stations. So I'm gonna just kind of try to wander through here a little bit. I don't know where I'm going or where I'll end up, but just taking a look at all this stuff. I already can tell that, yeah, like what's going on here with the framework and the glass and the different blocks along the ceiling. That's really cool. Um, Jeez, I don't know. Like I said, this is one of those creations that I think you could walk around in for hours, maybe not see the same thing twice. Like a Then you compare this to like a shopping mall or something like that. I bet you this is bigger than most shopping malls, at least. Wow. Seeing the angled stuff here, and yeah, you can tell. I look for this kind of thing. I look for people that like try to do everything they can with the blocks and the structure. And wow, look at this room. That's all glass up there. Sorry, I get a little sidetracked. Yeah, there's all glass. Wow. No, it looks especially neat too when you're in space and you've got light and you've got windows or something that can allow light through it. Um, yeah, looking at the shadows that you get from that, especially like across a corridor like that, that looks so cool. Um, it's just kind of like depending on the lighting to add an effect inside the creation, and that's I do like that because look how much more detailed that looks if it was shadows versus just it was just flat. You know, it adds in a lot there. If you can try to make things work with shadows, I think you could enhance the looks of things further. In glass, you can do that with some of those like shutter windows are can do that as well. Create like a shadow of it on the floor or walls or whatever. Uh, God, this thing's insane. So I'm out at one of the outer edges over here, but just take a look at the scaling of this thing. Wow. I'd be really scared to build something like that. And the only side effect of building something this big, I mean, while obviously it looks really cool, it's spectacular, and I can't imagine the amount of time and effort that was put into making this. But yeah, the game itself, I mean, I don't have like a slouchy computer. It's not state of the art, but it is certainly bringing this computer to its knees, walking around in here too. In fact, God, what was the key for frame rate? Was it F8? 11. I forget. Oh, I took a screenshot. Well, anyway, I can tell you that my frame rate's not very good right now. It feels very jerky and choppy. Um, that's to be expected with something this big and crazy. So we're at 3A. I wonder if there's an information panel somewhere. But yeah, I wanted to show this, but yeah, trying to tour the whole thing I think would take far too much time. But it does look like every area of it was detailed and tweaked out, and this almost looks like, God, could these actually be built for like people movers? Maybe, like maybe something fits in these slots over here that would get you from one side to the other. That's just interesting. Just trying to think. Wow, look how far I'm like holding down the shift button to move like super fast here. Um, wow. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to look at the stats one more time on this too. I want to see how many blocks this thing has in it. I think it may be the record as the biggest creation I have personally seen on the workshop or spawned, I'll say. Oh wow, look at this floor. Now we got a color change over here. Wow. Yeah, I kind of like that too. The brown and the whites with the grays and the blacks. Oh, some red. That looks really nice. Oh yeah, we must be in a. Oh look. Oh yeah, it's like a food court. Oh, how cool is that? Robotic supply store. I get maybe not a food court, just a shopping center. Wow. If you're gonna have a space station like this, you gotta have a place for that. I mean, this is like I said, it really reminds me kind of a shopping mall or a mall plaza. People around. Jeez. Yeah, this thing is gigantic. Poor Leviathan. I thought you were big until I seen this. You're just a little ship. Millie Way's Delights, Infinity Stones Jeweler. Jeez. Wow. Like I said, yeah, this is one of those creations you could walk around for a long time in and probably not see the same stuff twice. Looks like we've got all kinds of different like crew rooms and areas like that in here too. Bathrooms and showers and anyway, yeah, this thing is wow, brick. Look at that brick. Wing Kong Trading Company. Yeah, and the different texture changes over here with the ceiling. Almost kind of looks like a stucco Pizza Hut top kind of thing. Wow, where are we now? Oh, look at that. Just a total theme change. Like, it's like you're out here in this giant spaceship, and now it looks like it's themed like it's some old, like I don't know, purposely built, like, I don't know, older city kind of work, like, I don't know, that's interesting. Very, very interesting on that. Just for the heck of it, I'm moving up through the floor to see if I end up at another floor, and oh, yes, I did. Wow. Okay, so this is the main floor where these big landing pads are. Again, wow, so how far down does this go? I'm gonna just cheat. Let's get down in this ring here. Oh yeah, of course these rings are for real too, so they've got rooms all throughout them. I wouldn't doubt if you left some of the lighting off in the rooms, maybe to try to keep frame rate and size class in check a little bit better, because there is obviously a lot of lighting going on in this ship. I'm curious what the red blinky light is though. Where's that coming from? How do you get there? Oh, closed for repairs. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so this area is got an armed guard out front, and it maybe has an O2 leak or something. Hard to say. Wow. And this is yeah. So this whole ring. I mean, the ring itself. It's deceiving how big everything is. You take a look at this ring, and it doesn't look that big in comparison to the whole creation. But each one of those rings, I bet you, are close to the size of the new space station I was building. Wow. Okay. Let's check out this last area down over here yet too. Probably not the last area. I'm sure there's a lot more. But look at this. Yeah, I like how it's broken up. Obviously the main color scheme of this is getting into your like white and black kind of space look. But when you get into different parts of it, it has different like textures and colors and things like that that really make it more unique when you walk through. So it's a large structure, so you get that variety of things to see in it, where it's not all white and black, like one floor might be that way, but then these areas are just different. And this just looks like a giant, I don't know, convention center. Oh my God, it's got more than one floor too. Wow, look at all this stuff going on in the middle here. Statues and the ceiling. Jeez. I like how the big window here with the glass like looking out. Yeah, this is truly an epic proportion space station for sure. I mean, this thing is, yeah, like I said, I think the biggest creation I actually ever spawned in the game. I'll have to look out there to see if there's some anything that's bigger than this one. Anything that exceeds. So let me just take a look at that again. Was it size class? 183. Wow. I think Zero G or Jennifer from Zero G was actually working on a massive space station at one point in time too. I never seen it actually hit the workshop though. I was kind of like excited to see that one, but yeah. And take a look at what I'm working on now. Look how puny it is. Like I said, this whole space station is about the size of one of those rings down there. Very cool space station. This by Siege, anyway. It was on the workshop for a long time. I had to see what it was all about. And like I said, even from when the pictures, you look at it like this, you think, yeah, it's big. But I never expected it to be as big as it actually is. It just has a way of looking a little bit, a little smaller, I guess, from a distance until you see it up next to something else. And my little puny thing over here. Speaking of that, to the end part of the video, basically, I wanted to show you any updates I did do to this. And I apologize again for the lighting. I wanted to keep this in space, so I'll turn my flashlight. And basically what I did on the last video, I was working on the Majora module docking. So what I did is I started building at least half of this. So I got to copy this part to the back half of it to do that. But basically the module bay docks are here now. I put in some kind of thing across the ceiling. I'm going to probably modify that a little bit. But that's same way as the Helios bays on the top to hold it down when you dock. And we determined with testing on the last video that they can dock at a 45, even using some of these weird blocks that comes up, and you get a nice perfect alignment between this angled surface and where the ship lines up to it at a 45-degree angle. So basically, I was just trying to work out that, trying to figure out how that was going to integrate up into the bottom of the station, and I was just trying to work out a lot of the block work. I took a little bit of a cue from the old Sentinel station. I put in some angled beams here. I put on some little deco things to try to make those beams look a little fancier, I guess. Again, once it's all textured, it'll hopefully that'll all pay off on bringing in that different stuff there. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Now, ultimately speaking, I don't want to go too crazy with the space station. It would be really neat to make it bigger and bigger, and I could make this this part go down further and even like branch out to another docking area or something like that. But if you want a really giant space station that's not super usable in game, well, if I did all that's kind of what would happen, and I don't really want to do that. So what I'm planning here is I think there'll be an engineering area like down in this section, a little bit like the Helix orbital so I'll get some parts down in there and try to make it look spiffy, and maybe have a little antenna or spiky or turrets down over here or something like that. And that's kind of the idea of that. I mean, ultimately speaking, I would love to like flange this way out and set up like these optional solar arrays, but I'm not sure. Now, one other thing that's catching me a little bit off guard right now is I spawned in this space station, and I am in vanilla, and this has 24 solar panels on it. Right, and you would think that I'm in creative, obviously, but you would think that this station would show in red, because I'm in vanilla. And here's the thing that's freaking me out is it's not. Here's the space station I just spawned, module space station 2. It's not in red. It's got 24 solar panels on it. It doesn't care. It's not saying there's anything wrong with the blueprint. And I expected it to absolutely be red. I mean, I've got so many different red creations for like POIs, and just a lot of things show up in red that were made for Reforged Eden. Well, looks like it. Well, at least in the base area, just the POIs. It looks like. So, yeah, it's troubling. The solar panel limit count, as far as I know in vanilla, is still 15. This has 24 on it, but it's not complaining about it. So now I was starting to wonder, can that actually work in vanilla? If I put this out, said it was for vanilla and reforged, would there be any problems exceeding the solar limitations that in vanilla? And unless there was a change in vanilla, maybe in an update or patch, maybe they decided to go to the same solar count as Reforged, which I think is a lot more logical solar panel count. In fact, I'd like to see it doubled yet, or tripled, or just not have a limit. Um, but yeah, so I'm curious now. I expected this to show up in red. I was scared to spawn it with all these panels in vanilla because I just thought maybe it would like rip out, you know, anything beyond 15 solar panels, or it wouldn't spawn at all, or it would just show up in red and complain. But it didn't do any of those things, which I expected it to, and that's kind of freaking me out a little bit. But anyway, it's not a bad thing. It's just I expected something. I expected different results. Put it that way. Anyway, so this is coming along. I am still very excited about this. I think it'll work out. It'll be roomy. It'll support a lot of modules. It'll support a lot of storage. It'll furnaces, crafting. Uh, it's kind of like a Helios, but doesn't move. But it's a base, and it can do the base functions of processing the furnaces, repairing CVs, and have even in the storage. Hopefully, once I get this done, we'll see how many actual storage containers I get in here. It's a little until I do it. I can't really say for sure, but I expect I should be able to fit in quite a lot of storage in here. Plus, 6 modules, and you can get a lot of stuff on the modules. I was debating whether or not if this should have its like own section for a farm. Maybe just not come with grow plots. I do have a lot of room to work with, so I may set up an area for a decent sized farm in here, but just leave the grow plots out. And if people want to use that, they can. If this is positioned correctly by the sun, which would have to be facing the sun, hopefully it can stay operational. And I do know it was brought up several times, that the angled solar panels, the way I've got them, that you're not going to get optimal solar results. If this was perfectly facing the sun, maybe, but you'd probably get, because of the angles, you might have like one side that's doing like 2 or 3 bars, and the other side that's doing like less bars. I didn't try to align this to the sun at all right now, so it's just sitting here. But that's one thing about it. But I at the end of the day, though, I do have to keep the solar panels facing in this general direction, because the modules that use solar also would have those solar panels on the top, and that would keep all the solar panels facing the same general direction. For aesthetics, I like the angled solar panels here. I think it works well for what I was trying to pull off with the shape of the creation. It fits in there, and this is like this big open area that would need detail in there, and the solar panels kind of work for that detail, along with the little indentation that's there, and even like this weird little thing where you got this beam, and it kind of like goes underneath the beam. I like stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, this is still my main project. Tomorrow tomorrow or Sunday, I'm planning on updating that Merc MX4. I haven't done that yet. I've been kind of focused on this right now, and I'm at the point where I have no solution how to get a decal of the R on the MX4. That's just driving me nuts. I tried extending the back thruster things, but that looks silly. It just adds more blocks for no reason. And it didn't look right anyway. And so yeah, I can't fit a decal on the thing, and that's my big hole up with the ship. Other than that, it works. So it just says MX3 though, but it's actually the MX3R, the hardened steel version with the bigger thrusters and the higher unlock level, as opposed to the MX3. So maybe I will convert that over to the MX3, strip it down, make it cheaper, and update that blueprint as well. But they're not going to be new releases. The next new release I probably do is going to be the MX4, which I have not finished. I haven't finished that ship yet, so it shouldn't take a whole lot longer. I got to build the interior for it and do some testing, and that's it is a small interior, so it's not going to be a real long process on that. I just got to make sure it all works and it flies good and that kind of stuff. And then once I get the space station done, I'll probably return to the MX67 ship that I was working on, and see how that comes out. But that was too early along to even know if I'm going to like it or not yet. I was trying something different with the front glass, but I'm not 100% sold if I like it or not. It's one of those kind of things. And lastly, I do plan on modding these pieces on all angles again. What's going on here and why I have such a big problem with how I did this is, now like over here, I like this. It looks like this whole piece would be able to like swivel up out of the way, which I think is kind of cool. I'm not sure why you'd want to swivel it up out of the way, but it looks like it could, except for the center. The center is like firmly attached over here, which totally breaks the illusion that this could swivel up. So that's the part on these I want to address on the straight ones. On the angled ones, I've got something even sillier. I got this here, which looks like it would swivel from this way to that way for no apparent reason. And that, to me, just, like, I can't really do the swivel thing very well here, but maybe this mechanism here could turn up, but that would, of course, break it again. So I got to figure out a different way to do this on the back part of it. It's bugging me. It's I got to get little things like that figured out before I can become really happy with things. But I do like this part here. Now, one idea I had is to cut this beam off and kind of like put a beam going across from here to here and have it like separated. Then this would look right. It looks like this whole thing could like flip up out of the way or something like that. For I don't know why you'd even do that, but just saying. Aesthetically, it would look better because, you know, at the end of the day, my principle on building is I try to make things be plausible looking, not necessarily perfect, but plausible. So when I have like things like, hey, it looks like this curves up and that's like welded shut, I get an alarm bell in my head that's not right. That doesn't look right. That doesn't feel like it's right. And so it will bug me until I fix it. And that's basically it. All right. Well, anyway, you all have yourself a good weekend. And I hope you enjoyed these creations. Again, I'll have links to all of them in the video description. And you all have yourself a great weekend. See you later.